Johnston cooks with another winning recipe.
Order up for 43.
Joining us tonight is Wes Johnston, chef of Porte Rouge restaurant in Waterville. A couple weeks ago we had you on. You made us a nice beef dish. Tonight you have pork on the menu, and
Yes.
I'm not even going to attempt the name of this one because it's a long French name. What are we cooking
It's a little
tonight?
challenging. It's called côtelette pork de crispé.
What you said, exactly.
Exactly.
So, what do we start here first to get this going?
Well, the first thing I'm going to actually have you get going is our apple cider and Calvados reduction.
Okay, that's this here?
That's correct. And what that is Apple Farm apple cider.
Yep.
And it is combined with brandy, otherwise known as Calvados, which is an apple brandy.
Okay. So while that's going, we got a bunch
While
of
that's
stuff here,
going, I've
too.
got a few things over here to do.
Okay.
What I actually would like you to do is get that pan
This one here?
on the heat.
Okay.
I already started melting some butter in it, so it'll be nice and warm for us. I want to actually core an apple.
Yeah.
Just use an ice cream scoop, core out the center, and that's going to be our vessel for the vegetable on the dish. This you can use or
No
not use.
kidding.
I like to use it just by cutting up a few pieces and adding it to the saute pan.
Nice. I mean, that was just with an ice cream scoop.
Just with
literally.
an ice cream scoop.
We get a shot of that there. Just look at how even that is. I was expecting different, so that's pretty cool to see you do that. All right.
So we add a few apples to the mix.
And you have what also in there?
This is just pumpkin, and then we're going to be adding some shiitake mushrooms
okay.
to the dish.
So just chopped up pumpkin and some apple.
Yep. And if you just want to maybe just swirl that around in the
Sure.
pan, sort of give it evenly spread out.
You're asking me to do this without putting
Oh,
it on
sure,
the floor,
sure,
right?
yeah. And with mushrooms, it's actually important to add them to the pan later because if you don't, they will release all of their moisture, and it just sort of makes for a messier dish.
Okay.
And we kind of want the earthy flavors from the mushroom to be retained. Add a little bit of salt, and there's actually a mixture for this a seasoning, which is
Oh, okay.
nutmeg, cinnamon, black pepper, and kosher salt. So now what we're going to do is actually work on the pork dish itself, the pork itself. Get another piece of butter in there. Just get that swirled around. We don't want it to get too brown.
See, this stuff I can do. It's the flipping around. I'll end up either wearing it or it'll be on the floor. So this is the easy part.
So we want to get this all buttered up and seasoned.
So that's going to be your pork.
Correct. This is just the pork loin. It's boneless.
Yep.
And this is a very nice cut of meat. I use my local butcher in Waterville. And
You looking just to brown this?
we're just looking to brown them. Yep. So we just want to get these flipped over,
Yeah.
and then we pop them right in the oven. While that's in the oven roasting, we're going to add the pumpkin, apple, and mushrooms. These don't even need to really get on the heat until they go in the oven. Being in the oven will be enough time for them. So we do this, add it to the bowl, and then stuff it right in the apple. It's nice to have a little extra for presentation when everything just sort of falls over the apple itself.
Right.
Now we're going to put this in the oven.
Yep.
The oven's at 400 degrees, and we like to put it in there somewhere around 6-7 minutes.
Which by that time your pork will be all set to go.
At that point, the pork is definitely ready. And sometimes it's even nice to pull the pork out ahead of time and just sort of leave it near something warm, so that way the meat actually gets a chance to rest and the juices just sort of stay in their place before you go cutting the meat.
Okay.
So pull the pork out.
Okay.
So what I do first is take the apple, find a nice way to place it on the dish, sort of want it leaning towards the customer as they choose to dine. I'm going to get this off the heat, and then we place the pork. So then we take the top of that apple, just lean it up nicely against it, and you know how it's saying I like things to sort of spill
Right.
over. That's sort of why it's a nice plate filler, and it's just very enjoyable to see. And then last but not least, we want to add our sauce, which has been reducing the entire time that the pork and the apple were in the oven. And this is Porte Rouge's côtelette pork de crispé.
Translated in English, for at least for my sake,
Sure.
pan-seared pork with a pumpkin mushroom stuffed apple. Looks excellent. Head down to Port Rouge in Waterville, check out their menu, and you can check out this recipe on our website at wabi.tv. Why don't we dive on in here?
Let's try this.
Looks good. Into the forecast center we go to see if the weekend's looking good.